Guys, so welcome to the very first interview of the Out of Nowhere podcast. Like I mentioned to you guys, I want to bring on different people, anything that has to do with business, music, artistry, video, content, anything that people want to hear about the actual story of what it takes to get, what it takes to get started in the actual industry, all the way to get to where these people are in their lives, whether they're already successful NFL players, all the way through to directors of photography, artists, like I mentioned. And I just want to give you guys the insights as to what it takes to actually get to those positions. And so today I'm very, very excited to start this off with one of our very own, somebody who I've got a chance to know over the last couple of years and really see develop his craft, everything from what he does in the actual music space all the way through to self-producing his most recent music videos. So this man not only has done things in the music industry, but has also worked in the radio in the past. And so I want to get a chance for you guys to hear his story, how that happens, how it all comes about, because really it's remarkable what he's able to achieve in only a short amount of time. And so without further ado, I just want to welcome in the first guest of the Out of Nowhere podcast, Manuel Romero.
Sheesh, hey. Hey, muchas gracias. Thank you. I appreciate the time, man. What an intro, honestly. It was, like you can say, now that you mention it, it's actually I have a lot of stuff in my resume that I don't really thought about until you said it right now, and we're here for the same reason, create or share the creativity or what we're trying to do with the projects that we're doing, and also everything that it takes to get to where we're trying to be, right?
Yes, sir. So that's the most important thing. Yeah, absolutely, man. The most important thing for us is to make sure that we tell the people exactly what it takes to get there, because as the podcast name says, things don't happen out of nowhere. And I guess we'll kind of start off with the very, very fun thing. So right now, you're a music artist, you're a graphic designer, but you just recently competed in a show, in a nationally televised show.
Hace 3 años, gracias a Dios, se me dio la oportunidad de trabajar en radio acá en Estados Unidos. Me tocó presentar a Gerardo Ortiz, Karim León y otros artistas, pero a la hora que yo los presentaba me quedaba viendo y decía, yo quiero estar ahí, y es precisamente por lo que estamos aquí en Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento.
So tell me a little bit about how that went, how that happened, how that opportunity came about.
So I think it's all about taking a chance, bro. At the end of the day, that's creativity in general, music, whatever you're doing is taking a chance and being part of the Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento, which is similar to The Voice or kind of similar to America's Got Talent. There you go. That's cool.
There we go.
But in Spanish, and it was a great experience, honestly. And it was just taking the chance of going out there and kind of just sharing the creativity again. What I really take from it was the part that we're sharing the stories with similar backgrounds, but then in the day, the same goal, try to make it in this case, the music industry. But it was awesome, man. It was a good experience and also a great measurement of, am I capable of? Because honestly,
yeah, of course,
is that you always have that doubt creating stuff. You're like, is that gonna work?
That's the biggest thing.
Is that really the thing? But then when you really go out there and you're like, oh, it is a thing. And then you realize and come home and you're like, okay, well, I got what it takes. All it takes, now it's going to take the work, obviously. But I think it was mostly that, my actual learning experience. But it was awesome, honestly. And representing Oregon and going out there and living the whole live TV show. And as a musician, being able to present my music in a national TV, it was awesome. It was, well, what can I say?
Yeah, would you say that up to this point, be the height of your music career so far?
Yeah, of the music career, definitely. Awesome. Definitely, for sure. It's been, as of right now, and me being part of it, and me being the actual picture of it. Yeah. But in terms of art, it's also been writing my music. And in terms of sports and stuff, being at the Timbers games, so I know it's a lot of different things, but yeah, as of music right now, it's been the top percent of my music in national
Sweet.
TV.
No, and we'll get into each one of those things because I think it's important, because obviously it's made up these opportunities when it comes about. I think it's a collection of all the things that you've learned in the past that prepared you for this opportunity and be ready for it now. But before we continue on with the interview, there's a little game that we're going to play. It's literally just going to be to see how much you love the actual music industry. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a timer now for 30 seconds here. And we're just going to have you list off all the words, anything that comes to mind when it comes to things that you love about the music industry. So they can be very, very specific things like, microphones or something like that, but they can go all the way through to the experience of being on stage or anything like that. Just giving people an insight as to what that actually is and what you love about it. So we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock here. And time starts now.
passion, adrenalina, amor, culture, guitars, stress, love, family, money, life, born.
10 seconds.
Uh,
Come on. Let's go. 5 seconds.
Creativity, red, colors, images, people, stories, letters, words, feelings.
All right, time. All right, so what we're gonna do is throughout the season, as we continue to ask people these questions and put them through this, we're gonna see where everybody stacks up. We're gonna count up Manny's answers here at the end, see what his number is, and compare it as we go out throughout the season. But we just want to test people, see how much they actually love what it is that they do, if they can list everything about it. And then now we're actually going to get a chance to hear a little bit about, we just heard a little bit about the height of Manny's career being at the very top of a nationally televised competition, man. But I just want to kind of want to all know where it all started for you when it comes to music specifically. Where would you say your love for music started, or how did that actually come about for you?
I think, bro, honestly, the whole music thing became after high school. Like when I realized that singing was more
so
than
you didn't
just
play in high school? You
No,
didn't,
dude,
you didn't have any instrument? You
nothing.
didn't have
I saw. I mean, so this
late
is
bloomer, okay.
I never played in high school or like middle school, because to play in high school,
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
No,
I thought, yeah.
you didn't have money. You didn't have. It was like at the time it was like $80, which right now is like whatever. But back then it was like, oh shit, I don't have $80. So it was just like, oh, see, I like it, but I can't be part of it. So it wasn't part of high school or anything until like my sophomore year in college, when I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. And I was like, okay, well, I started going into YouTube and trying to see how it worked. And then I was like, I want to try how to write my own music. And I did a little bit, try to write for my mom and here and there, and just kind of try it out. And my mom would like them. They'd be like, oh, tan bonitas, tan chidas, me gustan. She'll like them, but that was it. And then I think it was just from there, sharing it with family. But it's always been sharing it with family when I kind of just started. And then actually taking it to the next level and actually like writing and actually performing. It's a whole different thing, right? But the whole music, it honestly just started I want to play guitar. I want to be able to just play at my house and just jam out. And then from there, just the creativity,
the passion and everything came about. So when it comes to writing lyrics, and it's weird that, or not weird, but it's fascinating that you started actually writing lyrics before doing covers and everything like that. Where do you think that comes from? What were you talking about in those songs? What were you trying to project in those songs, and then how has that developed over the years?
Honestly, I think when it comes to writing, I feel like it's sharing a story, right? And I feel like in some way or another, we all share the same similar stories, same kind of something in terms of like love, for example, really generic topics, right? So which is what I was trying to write. I was like, I'm pretty sure someone felt heartbroken. Like, man, let me write something about it. Like I was heartbroken. I was like, let me write something about it. And it was more than you're connecting to someone else. And then when I realized that same person, they're like, oh, that same happened to me. And then I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. And now actually I look back, bro, and honestly, this next song that I'm about to release, To Reemplazo, is gonna be my first like regional mexicano, which is Latin music type of genre. It's gonna be my first one, but I look back into the lyrics, and some of the lyrics is what I was writing back in college. So I'm like, oh, so that makes sense. And right now the music that is coming up is also like a lot of the stuff that goes from where like, oh no, this is awful, to now it's like, oh,
okay, now I get it.
Now I get it. So it's honestly that part, bro, like being able to connect and being able to actually like feel it and live through it. I can't write. People have told me, write me a corrido, which is a story about, whatever you want me to be or whatever you want it to be. But I'm like, I can't. I need to feel it. I need to.
Yeah, you need to actually like live through it or have experienced it or have something similar.
For sure. And once I feel that, then it just goes along. It goes by itself.
Yeah, and like I said, like I think it's also probably changed a lot for you because you've lived through life. You've actually got to experience a lot more, I'm sure, heartbreaks, a lot more triumphs, a lot more failures and everything than when you originally started. And so does that have anything to do with how you write lyrics or like how that comes about now?
Yeah, bro, honestly, again, it's just you gotta live it. You have to go through it in order to actually say the details or be able to just even being able to transmit the passion behind the song or the lyrics. Then that's what it is. And I think it's in general, like if whatever it is that you're doing, if you're a mechanic, the customer needs to see like, oh, he's he's into his job, not just like, oh, here it was. So I think it's more of that feeling, the connection también. So
yeah, and you also had a very unique opportunity getting a chance to meet a lot of your, some, I wouldn't say idols, but a lot of the people that you look up to in the sense of the music space, having to work in the radio and getting a chance to sometimes even hang out with them backstage or obviously present them when they going upstage. But tell me a little bit about how that opportunity in the radio came about. How did you end up there, especially at such a young age, being able to host a couple shows in a couple of different networks? What did you learn during your time there? How did it all happen, and what did you learn during your time there?
Man, why did I learn? A lot of stuff, man. I learned stuff that I didn't learn in college, or it wasn't even mentioned about it. It's just like, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
It came about in 2017. I was working Applied Electric, and I was just off college, and I was coming back home. I was like, well, I didn't have enough money to stay at University of Oregon, so I was coming back home, just working. And then one of my friends, his name is Lopez, or DJ Lopez, he invited me to one of the events that we host here in Salem. Big events, a lot of people. He invited me to put up the promotion stuff, the radio things that says 93 point or whatever. He invited me, and then one of the hosts, Stephanie del Castillo, she saw me, and she's like, oh, this kid is like hustling. And I did. I was just like, honestly, I was just hustling.
Chalane.
Yeah, just working, doing my thing, and she invited me. And then from there, it was just all work, bro. I never really thought about how much. I never really thought it was never about that. It was just like, all right, it's going to take hustle to me to, if I'm going to go at it, I'm going to go at it 100%, you know? And that was the mentality, and that was it. And everything just came kind of like opportunity by opportunity. And it was not given for sure, because I was there late, and I was there early, and I was there hungry, and I was there when there was nobody. And that's honestly the key to anything. Like, it doesn't matter connections. It doesn't matter. Like, you just work, like, just hustle. Yeah. And eventually got me to hosting, doing Timbers and doing a MLS final, which is like, for me, it was like, oh, snap. And
that's crazy. Yeah. When you're in situations that you thought were almost like unattainable, but you're able to accomplish things in such a short amount of time. It's honestly like, a lot of the times I think, when things happen like that for me, I just sit there and kind of disbelief and honestly try to take it in as much as I can, because those kind of opportunities sometimes are once in a lifetime opportunities. How many kids are not out there right now and studying communications and just waiting for the opportunity to get a chance to work. Some people spend their entire lives in like a local radio station, because they either don't find the right opportunity or just things don't happen that way for them. And so the fact that you were able to do that at such a young age is really amazing, man. How did your parents react when you first got the job there and getting a chance to hear you on the radio?
Honestly, I got in trouble a few times because I would say, like, I mean, I wouldn't say dumb stuff, but things that your mom wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah.
And then I would just get home and she'd be like, "Hey, ¿por qué dijiste eso?" I was like, "No, it's a joke. It's a joke." But no, they were proud, man. It was an amazing moment taking them to concerts and having them go through like stuff that they would only see on TV. I'm like, man, para mí esa era la paga. That was amazing. And they're supportive as hell, man. Thankfully, I have parents that always there, like, with either jokes, because a lot of the stuff that I say that sometimes people say is funny, it's because of my mom. I just steal them and use them, but they're there supporting 100%.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think there's no such thing as too much support, especially when it comes, I think, to your parents. I think everybody wishes that they had that kind of support at all times, but when you have parents that support you, man, it's literally you against the world, and you're going to always take you no matter what. But now we're going to move on, man. We're going to talk a little bit more about getting a chance to know now about transitioning from your career in radio, transitioning now into being a full-time music artist and what that means to you. So tell me a little bit about why you decided to take that leap and a little bit more about how it's gone during the times, the ups and downs, and ultimately what led you to that opportunity to go on Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento.
You're asking a tough question because honestly, this is where you question what you want to do. This is where you question, do you really want to do it? Because after the whole pandemic happened and I honestly stayed, me quedé sin trabajo. I didn't have a job at the time. I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Honestly, this is where it comes to it. Like, I can either go get a job, like 8 to 5 and call it good, and we're good. But are you really gonna feel good about it? This is like and personally, this is my time. This is like aquí a ponerle todo. You put everything on the table and fuck it. Like honestly, let's see what happens. I got the talent. I know that. Now is just my time to put in work and risk everything on the line right now. Like whatever I have, I'm just gonna put it there. And it's been tough, but I love it because that's what's part of it. And that's honestly part of the process. If you don't enjoy this part of the process, then you're not gonna enjoy the next of it. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, man, for everybody making that decision, regardless whether it's in music and video or anything else, betting on yourself is always, I think, the kind of like the hardest thing to do in your life, but also the most rewarding when you start seeing the fruits of your labor, which I think you're starting to see now, man. And I'm very happy for you to see it at this point in your career, man. Like I said, like it may feel like forever, but honestly, it hasn't been that long if you really come, especially since that pandemic started and you got super serious with it. Like it's been an incredible journey getting a chance to see you rise and seeing all that come about. And I want to talk a little bit more about also the downs of it, right? So it's not always glitz and glamour. You don't always get a chance to just get on Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento. Can you talk to me about some of the experience? Talk to me about the worst experience that you've had at a gig, at a private gig that made you question absolutely everything. It could be most recently, or it could even be when you were starting with music. Just something that you were like, man, you got punched down.
I think honestly, bro, and this is where I saw it when my wallet was at zero, and then this is honestly what it took when it was at $0, and I saw it and I was like, I've never seen my account at zero. Yeah. Ever. Thankfully, gracias a Dios, I always had $1. I mean, at least $1. Yeah. But this one was at zero, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? What am I like dead ass? I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Like,
what am I gonna do?
What am I doing? And I literally went home and I was just stressing about it. Who knows why, bro? Honestly, but that day I wrote a song that is gonna come out probably in a month or two. And now that I think about it, it's like, oh shit, I needed to see physically, like, do you really want to do it? Like, do you really want to do it? Because I could have easily just been like, you know what, fuck, and I did, bro. I went to work for construction for a day. Fuck that. I quit, and all my respect, it's a hard job. It's not for me. And I was like, hell no. Like,
hell yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's being able to, until you see it, because people tell you, people tell about failure, people tell you about, but when you see it physically, you're like, oh shit, But honestly, at the time, I was like, no, pues. You
gotta figure it out.
I gotta figure it out. And thankfully, gracias a Dios, things got figured out. And now it's like, oh shit, now I got a whole team behind me, supporting me and helping me out and pushing not just my talents, but also in a personal way to be a better person. So it's that, bro. Like, just being able to push.
Yeah. And again, I just want to know also, like, when it comes to those kind of things, when do you start realizing that things are actually happening in your way? Because there's always ups and downs, but when you're down, how do you know as a musician that you're advancing or that you're going in the right direction?
When you're creating, bro. When you're writing, again, it goes, you got to live it, So one of my songs, it actually talks about that, seeing my wallet at $0. Why? Because you got to live through it, and then it becomes a reflection in what you're writing, which at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're not the only one. Yeah. People are going to be able to connect some way or another in terms of music to your lyrics. So that's, it's like, I need to go through it in order to write about it. So you'll see it in my next songs that are coming up. You're going to see that awesome. You're going to see everything that I'm telling you right now.
But I want to know, man, I need to know some stories, some horror stories of some gigs, some things that have happened to you in the past, the things that all musicians can relate to. So tell me, give me your worst experience, your worst gig, and why, what happened? What makes it stand out?
Worst gig, bro. There's always something that gig that happened.
I'm sure, especially Mexican gigs. You know what I mean? Like,
but I think in general, like, I need to say it, bro. I need to say it. Like, neta, güey, si van a dar de comer, if you guys are gonna give out food at your parties, make sure that the tortillas are warm. Yeah. Bro, because honestly, bro, like, van a decir que qué pedo, pero para ser honestos, to be honest, a lot of musicians are like, oh, I'm not gonna eat all day because, there's a party and there's food there, at least, Maybe I'm just overthinking about it, right? But we're like, we're gonna get to the party, un platito antes de tocar, a little play before we start going. And then you get to the table, and then the tortillas are cold, and you're like, oh.
You're the last ones to get fed and everything too.
Bro, the last ones, or sometimes I think just the worst one, but they don't even offer you water.
Yeah.
Like they don't even like, hey, una agüita or something. They're like, shit. Like those are the worst ones, honestly. Like that's when you're like, oh man, like pues ni modo de that, pero no creo. There's always something wrong at every gig that I can think of that I hate when drunks, or at least they come out and they ask for a song and they're like, you know, they grab you by the neck and they're like, "Tócame esta." You're like, no, that's just the worst.
And then also, man, just tell me your favorite gig, your favorite small gig so far, or your favorite gig in general. Which one has it been, and why was it your favorite?
My favorite gig. It's been a lot, bro. Honestly, I just enjoy being on stage. I don't think there's really like a favorite gig, but a favorite moment was, and this is a fun fact, that I was literally halftime show for Virlan Garcia. Virlan Garcia is a big Mexican artist, and at the time I was working at the radio, and he comes up to his manager and he tells his manager, "Hey, I need to go to the bathroom." And then he looks at me and then he just gives me the mic, and the first thing that came to my mind was just to go sing on stage. And I was like, all right, I just got the mic and started singing. And he went to the bathroom. I started singing. And then the reaction of the people when I started singing, I was like, oh. And so that, honestly, that was really like, it really gave me the chills because it was pretty full. And the reaction of, you know, performing right after like an actual, like, or not an actual artist, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, those kind of opportunities, again, like those may not really do something for your career, but they do something to you internally. Yeah. That makes you want to just continue on and push on and strive for anything that you wanted to go. But now we're going to move on, man. We're going to go to a different segment. We're going to call this the deep end. So we're going to play a little roulette here in front of you, and there's 5 topics that's just going to randomly pick one. And I got a question prepared for you depending on which one it lands. The 5 topics here are probably some of the most hardest things that people talk about. So we're going to either talk about money, doubt, relationships, anxiety, or spirituality, all right? I'm going to put this in front of you. Let me quickly record this in real time so that we can get all that here in front of you guys. And then we're going to get into some deep conversations with Manny here.
Sheesh, man. You're trying to find everything, huh? Like
we're trying to get all the information so that people can, you know, again, have all the answers so that they can hopefully get to where you are a little bit faster. Or, you know, maybe you can just help them with something that you went through in the past, and hopefully they hear it and are able to have the tools needed to get through it.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned, bro. Like sometimes you don't realize there's people actually looking at you. You know,
yeah.
You're like, you know, who's looking at me? But there's people out there. There's at least one person who's like.
Hopefully, that's what this podcast is about. Like I said, all right. So we're screen recording on here. We're gonna start this real quick.
Oh, qué nervios.
Here we go.
Sheesh.
Here we go.
Doubt.
All right. So Manny got doubt. Here we go. Shout out roulette here. All right, Manny. So the question that we have prepared for doubt. What was the moment that you doubted yourself the most, and how did you end up overcoming that? And I need a step-by-step answer in the sense of, once I realized this, then this is what I did, and this is what I continue to do until I got over it.
A doubt that I really had.
What were you going through? Why was the doubt there, and how did you ultimately end up overcoming it?
I think it was just the fact of music, bro. Like this was a few months ago where I was at. Do I really want to do music? Is this what I want to be? Is this where I'm gonna literally give my life at? And honestly, when I saw people reacting to my art and the support that I got, not just from relatives now, it was from people literally across the country. Yeah, that were like, hey, dude, I like your song, you know, like on TikTok or whatever you put it on. And I was like, well, I'm doubting myself, but there's people out there like liking it and then sharing it, and then, you know, it's like they're liking my art, so why am I doubting myself? Like that was literally like, again, my question. I was like, why? But then once you realize and see it and start like in some way or another believe in it, then you overcome the obstacle of doubting, you know.
Yeah.
At least for
what was that for you? Was it you know, was it a message that you got from somebody? Was it a specific person? Was it Just collectively, what was it for you?
It was going to the TV show, bro. It was honestly going to the TV show because the band that won the TV show, Código 04, they're from Sacramento. They won the show. When we got to the place, they're like, "Oh, you wrote that song, Yo No Soy El Malo," and I was like, "Oh, they know," and I was like, "They know me." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that was a cool moment when I was like, "Damn!" Like, and then I see that they win. I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, there's something. There's like definitely something going on that I need to follow and I need to work on it because it's not perfect for sure, but it's gonna take time and effort. And if como es en español es prefiero morirme en la línea, pues."
Right.
Que rajarme, you know, and so that's what we're trying to do, and that's literally the step to it, you know, once you see other people believe in your project or your art.
Yeah, it is. Again, there's a whole new wave of artists coming up right now with that are younger than I feel like ever before, and so a lot of them again are just waiting for the opportunity to happen. But sometimes you got to create your opportunities, which you have. You've already put out your first music video, your first single music video. It wasn't necessarily a genre that was like very well known or anything, but you wanted to get that out artistically. Sure. So just tell me how that came about a little bit, and then ultimately how that project went.
Go check it out. It's called Milesporora. It's a rap song. It's on my YouTube channel. Click on the link below.
Getting practicing.
There you go. Yeah, honestly, bro, like it's just not being scared to do projects. You know, like it's not my thing. I don't rap, but you know, it's a project where my creativity was required or needed, and there you go. There you have it. This is my input. You know, if they asked me or if they were wanting to work with me, it was for a reason, right? So that was what I put into the table, and it was awesome, bro. Honestly, just seeing the production and what it takes behind a music video, it made me appreciate 5 times more the creative part of a music video. That is not just like turn on the camera, put there, and like no, it all right, the lights, all that details that personally I don't notice, but you know the creative part behind the music video made me really appreciate everything. So
it's awesome, man. And there's more to come too. That was the first one. There's more to come too, and you know I think the entire team over there is doing a great job with it, and I hope that you guys continue again just to put stuff out there. You've realized the power of doing that. And we just got one last segment for you, man, and then we're going to let you kind of do a little preview for us on your new music. The last one that we have is just called This or That. So I got a couple of things categorized here. I'm going to ask you, would you rather have this or would you rather have that? And then some of the, depending on your answers, I'll ask you to explain a little bit of why, all right? This is all music and artist based, all right? So don't get nervous, don't get worried. It's everything in your space. All right, so as a musician, as an artist, the first question that we have for This or That, would you rather have a new guitar or a new microphone?
No mames, güey. Es una nueva guitarra, new guitar, for sure.
Why?
I need one, bro.
Literally because I need one. All right. Writing lyrics or typing lyrics?
Writing.
Why?
I'm old school. I need to see it. I can't. I mean, no, I just turn on the computer. This over. No, I need to see it in the paper.
Nice. All right. Setup or takedown?
Setup.
You'd rather do setup than takedown?
1,000 times.
Why? What's up?
Because you're seeing, like, your vision is like, oh, you get more excited.
Doesn't matter what kind of gig it is, like how big or small, you'd rather do.
It's the setup.
Than
the tear down is just you're done, you're tired, everything. You just want to go home.
You think that's for all musicians?
Yeah, bro. It's because also you drink, so you're like, I don't know. It really depends. But for me, takedown is like, nah, just come back up tomorrow.
All right. So for gigs, birria or mole?
Oh, birria, 100% with warm tortillas.
Ahora sí, para que sepan, eh. Apple Music or Spotify?
Spotify.
Beer or tequila?
Tequila.
Corridos or corridos tumbados?
Corrido regular.
Corrido regular. I'm not sure how many people are going to love hearing that right now, especially nowadays. But ladies and gentlemen, that was Manny Romero. Again, we'll make sure that we'll leave all the links down below so that you guys can go and get a chance to watch not only his music videos, but keep up with the stuff that he has. He also hosts his own podcast called Me Cachastes, which we'll also leave down below so that you guys can get a chance to hear all the past episodes and the future episodes that are coming up. And for now, again, Manny, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and do this, man. I really appreciate you making this happen, bro. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about you that I'm sure that everybody's going to get a chance to, again, hear and hopefully learn from and get inspired by, and then also understand that their dreams are not that far away. You know, that you just have to actually go for it. You're the perfect example of that. So again, just thank you for your time, man. And I hope that, again, you had fun and you get a chance to continue to grow in your career, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Muchas gracias también. Thank you, everybody who's watching the podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Ahí están todas las links. There's the links before to my art. Y pues a continuación los dejo con esta canción que se llama Tu Reemplazo, que sale el 28 de enero. No sé cuándo sale el podcast, pero el 28 de enero sale en todas las plataformas digitales.
Right.
Tu Reemplazo, de tu servidor, Manuel Romero. Sábado, noche de copas, se me viene a la mente tu recuerdo. He tratado de olvidarte, es la quinta vez que intento. Perdona si interrumpe mi llamada, yo sé que son horas de madrugada. Ya van más de 2 tequilas que llevo por olvidarte, y aún veo tu mirada. Solo llamaba para decirte que te extraño de la manera más sencilla que puede existir. Claro que extraño los besos, los que tú me diste a mí. Fue tu decisión marcharte y tengo que respetarte. Ojalá y no quieras ya volver, porque será ya muy tarde. Te dejo porque hay alguien que quiere reemplazarte. Disponible este 28 de enero en todas las plataformas digitales. Tu Reemplazo. ¡Ánimo!